Welcome to Modern English School. We've been running a lot of initiatives to expose the outside world to our students. Initiatives such as Finversa, especially to introduce the financial system, Quizathon to motivate them to know the general knowledge, Gift a Smile, and to connect them with the outside world who need support and care. And also programs like Magic Managed, which is definitely going to help them in getting their discipline done, etc. And this is one of the initiatives. We call it Career Story. The whole objective of Career Story is to introduce different careers that is available beyond the typical doctor engineering careers that we know. We wanted them to connect with different, employed personalities and understand what it is and how it works, etc. And this is one of those videos to introduce them to another career. So kindly watch this, and if you have any feedback and if you wanted to talk to our students, if you think your career is very important and it's important to talk to our students, do reach out to us. We will make it as an opportunity for our students to get them to know your career, the opportunities that the career has, etc., etc. So please do watch. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
So the whole program is scheduled in such a way that we got our students interested to become teacher. So we have handpicked, and we've got a wonderful guest here. I'll also introduce them later. And the series will go in such a way that our students will ask questions. These are all candid. I want them to ask questions from their heart, and the students are passionate about becoming a teacher in future. You both can introduce yourself, the journey that you've been through, faces that you saw, incidents that made you happy, things that you regret, things that you think that okay, I should have done it better. Because a teacher's journey is unlike any other profession. You're seeing hundreds of students every year. So, would love to hear from you from your journey point of view. How your journey has been so far, and yeah, that's it. So, but you would love to hear from you, both of you.
Thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity. It's my great pleasure to introduce myself. It's me, Dr. Muhammad Salim, as your academic director of this institute. Talking about the journey of my teaching, actually, it started in 2006 as one of a higher secondary school teacher in a government-aided higher secondary school at Chandamangalore Higher Secondary. After 7 years of my teaching there, I thought to do something more. Then I took leave and went to pursue my PhD. In 2015, I did my PhD in linguistics, something regarding neuro-linguistic programming in learning. Then I came back and rejoined. As soon as I rejoined, I got an opportunity to join in government service as a vocational higher secondary school teacher. I joined there. Again, I took leave and went to Saudi Arabia. There, I worked as an assistant professor in linguistics department, worked around 4.5 years. Then I applied for associate professor. By 6 years, after 6 years of service, I became associate professor. It was a very tough procedure to become an associate professor there. I had to publish a lot of papers and many things. By the grace of God, I became the associate professor. Then, after 1 year of my service there, I mean, after total 7 years of my service there, due to my personal reasons, I resigned the post. Then I joined back to the government vocational higher secondary school. I became there the principal of vocational higher secondary school. Then the next problem comes. Actually, I got appointed in Kasaragod districts. I was not unable to come and to treat and to care my parents from there. Then, when I got a chance to transfer to the higher secondary department, I shifted to the government higher secondary department. Now I'm working there as an higher secondary school teacher in a government sector. This is what actually my journey. This is my professional journey of my teaching. But before itself, when I was doing my higher secondary schooling, I started teaching because it was my passion. There itself, I understood that I could do something in teaching. Talking about my professional qualifications, as I mentioned, I did my PhD, MPhil, B.Ed, and PG in English, and of course, a B.Ed and TTC also. I could do that one, and this is what my professional achievement and teaching experience. Along with that, I became an NCC officer. I bagged NCCC and B certificates, and I was also a participant of the NSS program. And the most important thing I could share with you that even though I'm not a towering person, I could call me as a prolific writer, especially in English. I have published a lot of paper, and by the grace of God, most of them are in very reputed journals. So still, many are just quoting my sentences and concepts from my journal publications. This is what actually about me, and restricting the time, we can talk more later.
Hello, it's very happy to introduce myself. I'm Usman from Padinarthra. I'm the principal of Modern English School for the last 14 years. I have completed my elementary education from Padinarthra Government School, and immediately after I went for my degree at Government College Mandavadi. And after that, I have taken my B.Ed from Marble Sales College, Batheri, and I have done my MA from Madurai. And I have completed Set 2, and after that I have worked in some of the colleges as a lecturer, and from there I came back to here. Since that day onwards I'm working here as the principal come English teacher. So rather than my habits and my something which I love the most rather than teaching is commentary, cricket commentary that I am doing very well. And wherever there is a cricket matches happening, any of the places, I'm going for the commentator as right. And apart from that, I do write a little bit, and I write poems. I write some other works too, and I used to work in what we call spoken English courses classes. And rather, I have done something like that. That's all about myself.
Great. Probably to the younger kids that who want to become a teacher, and if I ask you to tell, okay, these are 3 major characteristics that you should have to become a teacher in their future, what would that be? Like, if I ask you to just handpick 3 special characteristics of a teacher.
One thing is that it is something that won't come from the pressure of anyone else's. That want is to come from their own inner mind.
Okay.
Unlike any other profession, teaching is nothing can be called as economically good, that we can't say. But along with the happiness, something will happen. Second thing is that the person who is ready to learn every time only can become a teacher. Unlike any other profession, I do not know very well about, but I believe that if you want to teach a kid something new in a day, he must be learned it first. So we have to be up to date knowledge gaining person. Such people can only become teachers. And rather than if a person who is unable to treat everyone equally like his own kid or something his own, that person only can become a teacher. So there won't be any separation in the sense that any personal inflict cannot be fixed with any other areas. So you can't mix any personal emotions with your teaching learning process. So these are I thought.
Coming to 3 things, I would say that if anybody wants to become a teacher, he should be a knowledgeable person. And second one, he should be passionate in teaching. And the third one, he should be skillful. These are the 3 I would say that.
Okay.
Along with that, I would recommend 2 more.
Okay.
The first one is value. He should have some values. He should know about some values, and he should have some values. And the last one is that he should have minimum qualification to become a teacher. Because there are some particular qualification like TTC, B.Ed, and something like that one for the to become a professional teacher. So altogether, these five, as far as I'm concerned, I think these five are needed.
And rather than we are playing with the children, the future of the society or
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
So when we are unlike any other profession, here we are making the future of the world. So there we have to be more careful than anything else is. So teachers, they are something beyond the definitions of anyone else is put forward by yet. That's what I believe. That cannot be stick into a simple definition, isn't it? The teachers.
Leave all the degrees. Leave all the degrees. Probably someone who's having a PhD, someone who's having a TTC, B.Ed, or whatever. Right? I still feel they shouldn't be a teacher. Like, I mean, there could
Yeah.
be some scenarios that you met. So probably give me some context that you might have seen somewhere that this kind of person should not be a teacher. From your experience.
That's a great thing because normally we know that certain time or whatever we have the qualification we achieved by learning may not helpful in all the situations. So certain times some instinct, so some kind of ideas they might have been by birth or innate. Such people can shine very well in teaching field rather than qualifications. Certain people by what we call by chance become teachers, but certain teachers will become by profession or by their love become teachers. So the second one is more better than the first one. Actually.
My question is the other way. You should not be a teacher. You might have seen people in your life in multiple contexts where you felt and you thought or you told yourself, this guy is not suitable to become a teacher. Probably you can tell about their context also, some background, no need to mention anyone, just to let the other people know that, you know what, this is not good to be a teacher. This person, this character, this behavior, or the way that he or she handles is not good to fit for a teacher. So that kind of a story is what I was asking. Yeah.
Yes, we have seen many since I'm working for many of the years in this field. We had met many, and especially some of the teachers when they are treating the children, in that sense that they will sit somewhere else and asking the children to learn, and immediately after bell rang, they will leave the class and they will go, and they will take it in the sense of a profession rather than anything. To such people, I believe that they are not supposed to become teachers.
As sir mentioned, I also came across a lot of persons who I felt personally that they are not fit for teaching post. I have a lot of example I would like to quote or experience I would like to share, but coming all in one umbrella, I could say that one, the person who is very arrogant and he's not at all empathetic and he's not ready to change, they should not be a teacher. The person who is ready to change, as I told you earlier, there are five qualities I told you about. Apart from these five, apart from these five, he should be empathetic to the students, and he should understand the pulse of the students. If still in this modern era, some are still doing the corporal punishment to the students, they are not at all finding out the exact problem of the student. Instead of that, they are only just doing the arrogant and cruel punishment to the students. They should not be a good teacher. They are not good teachers at all. These are the first brand. And the second one, someone they entered into the field of teaching, but they are not ready to update themselves. A teacher should update his knowledge all the time. Once they entered especially in the government sectors, once they entered, we couldn't find it or any sort of other assessing what we can say test or exams or anything after they entered in the service. So if we don't have such a things, normally some of them won't update themselves in their psychological method of way of teaching and in the philosophy of teaching, even in the methods and approach and the techniques of teaching. They won't be updated themselves. They don't update themselves. This is the major problem of themselves. This is what I would like to share about.
Perfect. Probably before we conclude, another question that I wanted to ask both of you is, we have seen teachers teaching in kindergartens, LP, UP, government, high school, higher secondary and college. Are we limited to that when it comes to teaching as a profession? do we have even, for example, you've been to Saudi, you've seen how things are getting structured there, what are the basic qualifications that they look at? You've seen multiple other friends of yours or other people working in the same domain, but not into a school or a government. When I consider teaching as a profession, what are the other areas that we have? Number one. Number two is, for those areas, what are your basic qualifications that they should go through? So it's from a futuristic point of view.
Okay. When we talk about teaching as a profession, we, as I told you earlier, that there are some sort of a criteria and there are some sort of things to be fulfilled. But being a teacher is an easy task, because not as a profession. One way or another way, all of us are teachers. So to become a better teacher in the real context, if we understand them and ready to understand their psychology and their philosophical way of thinking, we can easily teach directly or indirectly them, either the students or to the adults. But coming to the real teaching profession, we need these 5 qualities. Apart from this one, they have,
Qualifications.
apart from this qualifications,
No, you were referring to qualities. I was asking about qualifications.
what are the
degrees,
what are the qualifications needed?
Qualifications,
Okay. That's a very good question. So I was mistaken. Okay. The qualification, if a person wants to become a teacher in Kerala, he needs, for example, for the primary sector, he needs TTC.
Okay.
Or if he PPTTC, we can say the D.Ed, we will call it out that one. For the if he
And the
moves
basic eligibility for
he
doing
needs
this?
to fulfill +2 and TTC. That was the
That's it. Okay.
that was the basic qualifications. But when it comes to the UP section or high school sections, UP section, even those who have completed the TTC, they could work in the UP section and as well as in the LP section as well.
Okay.
But if we want to move to the high schools, he should finish 1 degree plus 1 B.Ed.
Okay.
This is the qualification. Along with that one, they have to complete the CAT. If it is in Kerala, CAT, they have to pass it. Coming to the higher secondary, they have to finish PG, MA or MSc or something like that one, with B.Ed and the set exams.
Okay.
Set exam or NET exam. These are the qualification in Kerala.
Okay.
Coming to the college, we have to finish PG with NET exams.
Okay.
By the grace of God, I could complete both of them, NET and set exams.
Okay.
Or if anybody wants to move to the in other states, he has to do almost similar one. For example, in all over India, almost the pattern is almost similar.
Okay.
The slight changes are there in the name of the exams or all those things, right?
Nice.
And if he wants to go abroad, the scenario is different. In some international scenario, for example, if anybody wants to go to Saudi or something like any Middle East countries, they ask definitely for a high school teacher, they want a degree and B.Ed or something like educational qualifications. Along with that, these things should be from the regular mode. They have to do that when the regular mode. Distance and part-time modes are not allowed. And these are the one criteria. And if anybody wants to go other places for any Western countries, they'll, along with this qualification, they have to pass TOEFL or IELTS. These are the basic criteria for that one. The basic qualifications for that one.
So I'll pass the mic to my students, and probably you can start asking them questions. Yeah.
I have one question. ഒരു സ്കൂളിൽ പഠിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികളുണ്ടാവും, പഠിക്കാത്ത കുട്ടികളുണ്ടാവും. അവരെങ്ങനെയാണ് മുന്നോട്ടേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരിക?
വളരെ മനോഹരമായ ചോദ്യമാണ്. അതിന് വ്യത്യസ്തമായ പല ടെക്നിക്കുകളും നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കും. ഒന്നാമത്തെ ടെക്നിക്ക് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, ഒരു കുട്ടി എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് പഠനത്തിൽ പിന്നോക്കം വന്നത് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കും. അതിന് പല വഴികളുണ്ട്. ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് നേരിട്ട് കുട്ടിയോട് ചോദിക്കും, അവരുടെ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടുകൾ അന്വേഷിക്കും, പാരൻസുമായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കും. അതിനൊക്കെ പുറമെ കുട്ടിയുടെ ഏത് വിഷയത്തിലാണ് കുട്ടി പുറകിലുള്ളത് എന്ന് പ്രത്യേകം മനസ്സിലാക്കും. അതാണ് ആദ്യം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒന്നാമത്തെ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. പിന്നെ രണ്ടാമത് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒന്ന്, അവർക്ക് റെമഡിയൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ നമ്മൾ വെച്ച് കൊടുക്കും. അപ്പോൾ റെമഡിയൽ ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ വെച്ച് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഈ പഠിക്കാൻ കുറച്ച് കഴിവ് കുറഞ്ഞ കുട്ടികളാണെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയും. കാരണം അങ്ങനത്തെ കുട്ടികൾ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രമായിരിക്കും ആ ക്ലാസ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. പിന്നെ മറ്റൊരു കാര്യമുള്ളത്, പെട്ടെന്ന് പഠിക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നുള്ള കുട്ടിക്ക് ഒരു പക്ഷേ കേൾവിയിലൂടെ പെട്ടെന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ടാകും. ടീച്ചർ ഒന്ന് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു തവണ പറഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും. പക്ഷേ പഠിക്കാൻ കുറച്ച് കഴിവ് കുറഞ്ഞ കുട്ടിക്ക് വെറും കേട്ടാൽ മതിയാവില്ല, ചിലപ്പം കാണേണ്ടി വരും, ചിലപ്പോൾ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിലൂടെ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. അങ്ങനെ വ്യത്യസ്തമായിട്ടുള്ള രീതികളിൽ പഠിപ്പിക്കുകയും കൂടി ചെയ്യുമ്പം ആ കുട്ടികളും പതുക്കെ പതുക്കെ മുന്നോട്ടേക്ക് വരും. അതിനൊക്കെ പുറമെ പഠനത്തിൽ ഇനി വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുള്ള കുട്ടികളുണ്ടാവും, മാനസികമായിട്ടുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നമുള്ള കുട്ടികൾ, അവർക്ക് കൗൺസിലിങ്ങുകൾ കൊടുക്കും, അവരുടെ പാരൻസുമായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അവർക്കായിട്ട് പ്രത്യേക പ്ലാനുകൾ വെക്കും. മറ്റൊരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യുക, ഈ കുട്ടികൾക്കും ഏതെങ്കിലും ചില കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ അവർ നല്ല ഉഷാറായിരിക്കും. ചിലപ്പോൾ സ്പോർട്സിലായിരിക്കും, ചിലപ്പോൾ ആർട്സിലായിരിക്കും. അങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവർക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ട്രെയിനിങ് കൂടി കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ ട്രാൻസ്ഫറിങ് ഓഫ് ലേണിംഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു സൈക്കോളജിയിലൊരു ടേം ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പം നല്ലോണം പഠിക്കുന്ന ആ കുട്ടികളുടെ അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക് തന്നെ ഈ കുട്ടികൾ കൂടെ എത്തും. എല്ലാവരും പഠിച്ച് ഭയങ്കര വലുതാകുക എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമല്ലല്ലോ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിൻ്റെ ലക്ഷ്യം. എല്ലാവരും നല്ല വ്യക്തികളാവുക എന്നുള്ളതല്ലേ. അപ്പം അതിലേക്ക് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അവരെ നമുക്ക് ഉയർന്ന നിലവാരത്തിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ പറ്റും.
Sir, I love to become a teacher because I love the teaching field and the behavior of the teacher. Like that, a story behind that. Is there any story behind your ambition? If yes, please share it with me.
This is a very good question because you would like to become a teacher, and more than that, you are asking me, is there any story behind to become a teacher? One thing I could tell you that when someone is coming to any of the profession, they might have a dream actually. So if you ask me, why did I like to become a teacher? A simple answer is that while I was learning, I thought that this is the way if you teach that particular child, that child can become a better one. That thought makes me to become a teacher. And nowadays I am following the same method because instead of that student, while I was studying in that particular class, how the way I felt, that is the same thought will be in the mind of that particular child. From that thought onwards, I started to teach my career, and that is why teaching is my passion too. So simple method is that treat each and every children when they are sitting in our class, they are when we were the student, how the way we felt, the same thought they might have been at that particular time. When you try to teach anyone in that sense, we can easily teach anyone.
That's actually an interesting answer. So normally you become someone by seeing someone. Maybe I'll have a dream person.
Really, because if you ask me that if you have any role model to become a teacher, I could even without any doubt that I can say that my Catherine, my Miss Catherine, she is working in a plus 2 teacher in my plus 2. And since I believe that someone to whom I wanted to respect, and if I wanted to remember any of the moment when we are talking about a teacher, she comes in the first rank.
So it's always good to have a role model in your life. And I love the answer. The other part of the answer is when you see something that's not happening the way it should be, that will also trigger you, okay, I have to be that and I should fix it. So probably to fix a problem that you have seen, you could even choose that career. So next question, please.
Do you think the technology will change teaching in the future?
It's a wonderful question you asked it. Whether the technology changed the teaching that you have asked, right? Of course, 100% sure that when we adapt technology in our academic curricula, definitely we can teach the children with more effective manner. Mainly, if a teacher teaches something, especially if it is an abstract idea, it cannot convey the meaning what she actually wants to do that. But when we use the technology, even the abstract idea can also be conveyed in a very easy manner. Moreover, everybody knows that this age is called the technological age. And this age, the technology has a role almost all sort of our daily activities. This will definitely include the teaching field as well. Coming to the teaching, it starts from our home to the school. We can use the technology for the purpose of learning in our home as well as in our schools. Is it okay?
Absolutely. So that's a valid point where technology can literally play a big part even after going out of the school and going back to home. There is a lot that technology can do. Probably if I rephrase a question, which could also be a question from my side also. Can a robot replace a teacher?
That's a that's a wonderful question. But I strongly believe that robot cannot be replaced by the teacher, but robot can assist it. Because, for example, the emotions, the way of dealing of the
Empathy.
students,
Empathy. Yeah.
kindness, patience, and these things we can't expect from the robot. When we analyze the individual traits of the students, robot cannot do all these things directly to the students. So the teachers are essential,
Yeah.
but the robot can assist
So
it.
the answer is
It is not-
teachers cannot do. Yeah, sorry, you were.
It's not replacing anyone, but enriching,
Enriching,
the teaching
yeah.
learning process.
Because the technology is going to enrich, support,
Yeah.
or probably transform the way how teaching is happening, but just never going to replace a teacher. So
No need to worry about that.
Okay. Yes.
What makes a student special in your use?
for example, if I translate a question again, as what I understood. So in a class, there are different type of teachers, and what we have seen for my teacher, there is a favorite student for those teachers, right? And they could be of different skill set. So there'll be like you rightly said, one could be best at sports, arts, teaching, getting high marks and all that. As a teacher, in your point of view, who's special? Whom do you consider as a special student?
Okay. Could you explain that question once again?
Sure. So, what makes a student special for you? Is it the
For the
characteristics? Is it the skills? Is it the marks? What excites you in a student?
That's a wonderful question. Actually, the purpose and the real aim of education is to uplift the real citizen. To become a wonderful citizen, he should have a wonderful character. The first and foremost thing is that his character should be ideal.
Great. That's a,
But
that's a great
one
answer.
thing, to whom we have to teach, that's a question. The person who is already perfect and the person who is very good in learning, sometimes they may need a very little help. But the other way, the student who is not at all a perfect man or not at all a perfect child, is not an ideal child, he needs more care and more support.
What do you mean by not an ideal child? Can you define that?
Okay, not an ideal child in the sense that we can't, of course, the ideal child is a mirage. Of course, it's a perfect child. But for example, talking about the character vices, we can say that he obeys what we say and he does all the works when we say, all those things. So this we can say that even though the term ideally say this should be in a quotation, we can say that when they're following, they're obeying the teacher as well as they're following the quorum of the classrooms. But another way, there would be, some other students, they won't follow you, they won't follow the teachers, they will do their own things in themselves, and they won't care other students, and they won't even they won't care even their parents as well. They can be called as a naughty child, and they should get more attention and more care. This is what I say.
We'll make
Yes,
it a
rather
great-
it's a technique too. Right, my dear students, when you happen to see that some of the teachers are loving someone, some of the teachers are always behind someone, it doesn't mean that that's an ideal student, that's a perfect student. It means from that child, teacher has to get something else. So there are different techniques. Since we all are psychologists, we are learning the mentality of each and every children. That's why the way we treat a child, that is the way that child will try to become. So these are technique. You never think that, so because since you the people are trying to become teachers, so I wanted to tell you that this is only a technique. Because when a teacher is always telling you are perfect, that doesn't mean that you are not perfect. Because we are expecting something great from you. When we are saying that, automatically you will try to become perfect by saying that, sir said I am perfect. It's a technique normally we are using. You are not supposed to disclose this technique to anyone else.
Actually, he
Right.
does not go down from
Yeah,
there.
yeah, right. So it's only here I would like to discuss, because when a teacher is trying to speak someone with a great respect and love, you never think that why the teacher is always talking to her, talking to him, why she is or he is not minding me. It means the purpose is the symbol. because we are expecting something great from them.
If you ask me personally, I will say that I will consider all the students the same manner, but we will use some different techniques.
Very valid. Yeah.
when teachers are showing inequality, because പഠിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികളോട് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ്മാർ ഇപ്പോൾ ഡൗട്ട് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വേഗം ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യും. ബട്ട് ആവറേജുള്ള കുട്ടികളോട് ഡൗട്ട് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ്മാർ ഡൗട്ട് തന്നെ ചോദിക്കാറില്ല. അപ്പോൾ പഠിക്കാത്ത കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഫീൽ ചെയ്യൂലേ?
മോള് വളരെ മനോഹരമായി
That's a very good question. I would like to reiterate it for the sake of clarity. What she's trying to ask is, she might have felt inequality from the teachers, where it could be from a asking question point of view, which is not something that we normally notice, right? So, what is that as a teacher? That is your point of view to handle this inequality, because what she's trying to say is there is a feeling from students that I'm being not treated nicely or not equally like the other. So, very very valid question.
It's a very valid question, of course. Coming to your questions, I would like to say that one. If any teacher is behaving such a manner, we won't agree with that one, because a teacher has to lead the students to probe more questions, and the students, the first thing is that the teacher has to lead them to make them more questions. Then only the probing should be started from the beginning, from the classroom itself. If a teacher is not answering the average students, there are some sort of a problem with the teacher, not with the children. Okay, this is what actually in the beginning I want to tell it out.
നല്ലൊരു ഗ്രൂപ്പാണ് നമ്മൾ, അല്ലേ? നമ്മുടെ ഉദ്ദേശം തന്നെ ആര് ടീച്ചർ ആവണ്ട എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ഉത്തരം തന്നെയാണ് മോള് പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. ആർക്ക് ടീച്ചർ ആവാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മോളുടെ ചോദ്യത്തിലുണ്ട്. ഒരു ടീച്ചറോട് സംശയം ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ ആ സംശയം ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട ആളുകൾക്കാണ് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൂ എങ്കിൽ ഷീ ഈസ് നോട്ട് അറ്റ് ഓൾ പ്രോപ്പർ ടു ബിക്കം എ ടീച്ചർ. ഞാൻ പൊതുവെ കുട്ടികളോട് പറയും, രണ്ട് രീതിയിലാണ് ആളുകൾ ജനിക്കേണ്ടത്. ഒന്നിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ ആളുകൾ ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിച്ചിട്ട് പറയണം ഇവനെപ്പോലെ ആവണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പറയും ഇവനെപ്പോലെ ആവരുത്. ഇതിൻ്റെ രണ്ടിൽ നിൽക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. ഒരു ടീച്ചർ ആരായിരിക്കണം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ട്രീറ്റ് എവരി വൺ ഈക്വലി. വെൻ ഹൂ comes to support that particular person without thinking about the personal bias. That is what we don't have any preconceived notion about anyone. We don't have any personal bias towards anyone. Who comes to ask a question to us should be cleared it. അപ്പോൾ നാളെ ഭാവിയിൽ ടീച്ചറാവുന്ന എൻ്റെ മക്കളോടുള്ള ഒറ്റ ഉപദേശം, ആര് നമ്മളെ മുമ്പിൽ വരുന്നോ അവരെ മുൻധാരണ വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യരുത്. നമ്മുടെ മുമ്പിൽ വരുന്ന ആൾ അറിയാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് വരികയാണ്, അയാൾ പഠിക്കുമോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്നൊന്നും നമ്മുടെ ഉദ്ദേശമല്ല, പഠിപ്പിക്കുക എന്നത് മാത്രമേ നമ്മുടെ ഉദ്ദേശമുള്ളൂ. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ബെസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ആൻഡ് ഹൂഎവർ ഡിഡ് ഇറ്റ് ബിഫോർ ആൻഡ് നൗ ഓർ എനി ടൈം ട്രൈ ടു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ദേ ആർ നോട്ട് fit to this profession as a teacher.
So what I understood from both of you is that's a basic eligibility to become a teacher.
Yes.
To see all the students with the same eyes.
Same eyes.
Good question. Good question.
When a student had any doubt in any portions, the students will ask to teachers. That time, teachers will explain what they will tell before. So that why students will get confused. So they have any solutions for that?
For example, let's say if I am listening to a class and I'm asking the question back because I'm not able to understand what she's teaching. Normally what happens is she'll try to repeat in a same mode where the students are still confused, and because he or she is afraid to ask again, they will say fine, great, I'm done. The concern that she's trying to raise is there is no different technique. For example, let's say if I'm trying to apply a theorem, there is a first theorem that I studied 2 years back, and teachers teaching with an assumption that this everyone knows that first theorem.
Yeah.
They're not even going back to the first theorem and say, you know what, hey, this was the first theorem that you studied. And, you know, but how do you as a teacher, how you normally handle situations when somebody is asking a question? How do you ensure that the question is answered or delivered properly is a question that she asked.
Prerequisite is not taking the teachers.
That's a very good question. So the same way, if the teacher repeats the questions, it means that if she answers in the same manner, it means that it's not enough. That time when the teacher was delivering answers, sometimes the child was not at all listening to listening to the teacher. It may be the reason. So if the teacher repeats once again the same manner, some children will pick it up. But the student has already listened to that one. The second time also the student listened. But if the problem is something regarding the delivery of the teaching technique, the best method is that teacher has to apply another techniques. For example, instead of telling lecturing method, she has to use some demonstrations, or she has to use some teaching aids. Something that's new to that student, she has to apply it. That's the thing I would like to say.
You have anything to
Their teachers are forgetting the reality that teachers are also co-learners. If they are the co-learners, then only they will understand that why this child is not understanding that particular theorem. So when teachers are trying to learn it, then only they will become teachers. So teachers are nothing but facilitators and co-learners.
So I hope it is also giving us a lot of insights. Teaching is not just a profession, it's
Yeah.
about emotion, understanding, clarity, learning, co-learning, unlearning, relearning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements to a
Yes.
teaching. Great question. It is important that are we analyzing our students just based on the marks? Because is mark the most number one KRA while defining success or defining criteria for a student? Maybe I'll have another additional question to it, which I'll ask later maybe. But yeah, probably one of you can answer.
Okay, the question is fine. We never judge a student only based on the mark. Because mark is only one of the criteria, not the most important criteria. Definitely mark is needed. But if we consider the mark is only one criteria, definitely one or two students already be there at the top. It means all others are low learners, or the standard of the students are very low. We won't treat them as equal. Mark is only one area, and simultaneously we have some more other areas. For example, arts participations, sports participations, and their overall behavior, as we already told that. Being a teacher, we should be a facilitator. He has to manage, guide, and lead the students and uplift their innate abilities. Talking about the innate abilities, some students will get more marks by giving a less effort. But at the same time, others need hard work. They have to work a lot of time to get the same mark. So, based on their mark, we cannot analyze, or we cannot say that one they are only the best students. We have to consider their overall. That's what actually we say that one. The aim of education is overall development, not getting more marks.
That is exactly the reason. Before you say, sir, I would like to add a couple of words here. And that is one of the reasons why we added a lot of activities in our curriculum. So we've been doing not just the exams, we've been doing activities to tell you what the outside world is. And this session it is also one of those programs where we want to expose to you. It's not just a mark which is going to define your career. That is way beyond other capabilities which is going to define and decide what are you becoming in your future, right? Sorry, so you can.
No, this is the main question. Even almost all the educationalists are still asking why we are making the children into two steps by marks. So many of them are not even able to answer that question correctly,
Right.
because we don't have any other system than this. Because mark is a criterion, but before that, many things are there. So still, many of them are thinking about how can we replace it by that to another. So when you become a great teacher, I think the world will change.
By the time IT will come,
Yeah,
technology
right.
will come.
Will change.
Probably how to define a student skill, things will change.
To add on this one, actually, even now the corporate companies, even for international recruiters, are not only focusing the marks.
marks.
Marks is only one criteria.
Exactly.
There are different criteria there as well.
In a class, there are so many kids, and with different passions, different mindsets, and everything is different. But even if the class teacher tries hard, very hard to make them all success, but why everyone are not being success? And there is a saying that success comes from classroom. But
Okay.
is that really true, or just like saying?
One teacher is teaching, let's say 20-25 students, same subject. They're all sitting in the same classroom and they're not all becoming successful, right? So that's a great question. Probably you can share your thoughts. Both of you can share your thoughts.
The real question is, whom do we call as a successful person? The person who is successful means that who has acquired his own, or he has already gained his own dreams. If the children, for example, there are 25 children, all of them have different dreams. If they achieve their dreams, we can call them as a successful person, as far as they are concerned. Our question is that some of them are not successful and some are successful, right? The major reason is that during the time of classroom, as you told that the success should come from the classroom, right? The main reason is that during the time of their study, they couldn't make a particular dream. They couldn't understand their abilities, and they haven't formed a particular goal in their life. If we are successful as the teachers to make them a wonderful dream and goal, that is the first step of their success. And another thing is that, whom do we call it as a successful person? The person who gets more salary? The person who is very rich? Or the person who gets that particular job in a highest position? No. The person who is content, who is happy, and who has already got in their goal, they can be called as a successful. And even though the successful person is a questioning term, it depends. It's relative. Sometimes what we see, they are not successful, but in their own way, they may be successful. So anyhow, if you are content in your profession, in your own life, in your day-to-day activities, we can call him as a successful person. Getting only high salary, we can't terminate him as a successful person. I think you also want
No,
to...
that's a correct thing. I think everything is covered in that. It depends. It depends, as he has mentioned clearly, right? Because someone who is not successful in our end may not be that. Because when you ask such person, are you successful? Personally, he will be quite happy. Because what we think that salary or anything is not the complete definition for a successful person. It always depends on how far he's happy, mentally happy and free. That is successful according to me. So in that sense, when we are analyzing and judging, it will get a clear-cut idea that who is a successful person. That's a very good question. Anyway.
Those are all very nice questions, and thank you so much for asking these questions. Thank you. You guys can
Thank
talk,
you
yeah.
for giving us
And
this kind of
apart from that, since you, the people, have asked many questions to us, let me ask you one thing. In your eyes, who should be the best teacher? Because we are only sitting here. നിങ്ങൾ കാഴ്ചപ്പാടിൽ ഒരു നല്ല ടീച്ചർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആരാണ് ഒരു റോൾ മോഡൽ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതൊക്കെ ആരായിരിക്കും എന്ന് ചോദിക്കാം.
For me, it's Usman sir because yes, I'm saying sincerely, yes, of course, because when he is taking the class, he is not giving a universal note. Like it is the thing that I love most about him, because he won't give any universal note like same to everyone. He will say his note is his class lectures, and he will ask us to prepare our own notes which suits our own pace, and that is a really good technique, and we can also learn like everyone's pace, and like his advices are like motivation, and he is that just like a story and not a boring advice class. That's it.
Actually, it's a wonderful question he asked. Anyhow,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful hour. Last couple of minutes, I enjoyed listening to you. Great insights from your experiences, valuable answers to our students. I hope all of us will have something to take away from your last 1 hour of our conversation. Thank you so much once again, and I look forward to having another session.
Modern English School.